Hi, this is Karen Flaherty from Living by Human Design, and this is a video about the energy types in human design. In this video, we'll be talking about manifestors. Manifestors are only about 8 or 9% of the population, and they are rather a minority, but they are very impactful beings. They're here to be the initiators on the planet. They're here to basically have ideas in their head, feel the inspirational flow, and allow that creative force to come out and follow it. They are the only energy types in human design that can have an idea in their head and just go out and do it. They're literally the Nike just do it people. They can have the idea and create it and let people know about it as part of their strategy. They are not here to listen to other people, basically. They are not here to take orders from other people. They stand out as a result of that. You can kind of tell when somebody is a manifestor because they really do not like taking orders from other people. They don't like following the rules. They don't like following the processes that are in place. And even as children, they'll be quite unique and very independent. So manifestors are here to get things started because they have these ideas in their head and because they have a hard time actually articulating those. It's hard for them to inform sometimes, but their strategy, their decision-making strategy is exactly that, to have the ideas in their head, want to do them, but to inform other people before they do them. So if they can inform other people before they get something started, it'll work out a lot better. It's basically to smooth the waters, to be a little more considerate, to let people know what they'll be doing. Now, they only have to let the people know who need to know. In other words, this is just a need to know basis. It's not everybody. It's just the people who will who would be affected and who would need to know about your decision. Once they know about your decision, then you can go ahead and act upon it. But for manifestors, it's very hard to do this. It's really goes against their grain to let people know what they're doing because for a number of reasons I'll talk about in a second, and because they fear what people will think of them. They fear that they're doing too much or that they're acting too outside the lines, so to speak. And so they're actually in their heads most of the time. They're always kind of figuring out their next move and they're trying to figure out what to do. But their strategy is definitely to inform other people before they act. They're very impactful beings. And in fact, people will notice when they come in and out of a room. People will hear their voice. They do always have that motorized throat and an open sacral. So that open sacral gives them inconsistent energy. They have energy, but it'll be inconsistent, and it'll be based on who's around them, and so they don't have the wherewithal, really, the energy to work in really tedious jobs like some other people might be able to. So it's hard for them to be a farmer or a factory worker or somebody who's doing really physical labor all day long. It's very difficult for them to do those kinds of jobs. They just don't have the consistent energy that some other types have. And so for them, if they can work in, have their own business, for example, not work a 9 to 5, have a more flexible schedule, they'll be a lot happier. Some of the fears that are associated with being a manifestor are that, first of all, their not self-theme is anger. And so when they're not listening to their strategy, when they're not following their strategy to make decisions in terms of informing other people first before they take action, then they're going to feel anger. The anger goes both ways. It's anger toward the people who are asking them the questions and why are they doing this now. It's also anger from the people who are incensed by what the manifestor is doing. And I don't use that word lightly. Many people get incensed with manifestors. It just comes with the territory. In different ways, they wonder if it's okay to express who they really are. They are a very powerful being, but do they need to keep hiding that they're powerful, or do they need to hide the anger? That's kind of the balancing act that manifestors play. And they wonder if their anger keeps them from expressing their true power, or are they afraid to be themselves because they'll intimidate people. They are the Mento in the Coke bottle, so to speak, because sometimes they'll go along, and then they'll just blow, especially if they're an emotional manifestor. And you can imagine how this could be difficult for female manifestors. you can imagine that female manifestors have a tougher time of it, especially because people don't like to see an angry female in public, right? Or even in private. So the last thing is, why does everybody want to know what I'm up to? Those are some of the fears for the manifestors. I'll just mention a few famous manifestors: Jennifer Aniston, Adele, the singer, also some other interesting types in history and celebrities. Manifestors include Adolf Hitler, Saddam Hussein, and other political leaders like George W. Bush and Al Gore. Also, celebrities like a few females, including Doris Day, Lucille Ball, Mary Tyler Moore. It was interesting to find out as each of them passed. I did their charts and found out that, in fact, all of them were manifestors. All of them had their own businesses. In those times, they had to get their husbands to co-sign with them, and they did, but they ran the companies, and they ran them well. There are some others today: Tom Cruise, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins, both, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, and then Jamie Foxx. They're all manifestors. So it's just interesting how people come together, how they show the fact that they are manifestors, that they create companies. Robert De Niro is also a manifestor. I love the story that he, after having been a successful actor, being a producer and director, he then had an idea to start a film festival in New York City. They call it the Tribeca Film Festival, similar to the Telluride Film Festival and a number of other film festivals around the world. He said, why don't we start a Tribeca Film Festival? That was all he said. He then turned the idea over to a number of people. They ran it. 10 years later, he receives an award for it. And he literally, in his speech, said, I didn't do anything. It was just an idea I had. That's how powerful manifestors are. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.